It's nearly 5 o'clock here local time, and welcome to race day here in Melbourne, Australia. The cars are on the grid and they should be setting off shortly for the formation lap. It's a great position for Lewis Hamilton to start the season from, and one that he'll be hoping he can capitalise on and turn into a race win today.
Well, we all know that Lewis has raw speed, and if you give him a fast car, he'll win races. So if he can stay out front by the end of the first few corners, I'm sure he's going to be very difficult to beat.
It was a disappointing day for Fernando Alonso yesterday. He's starting further down the grid than he would have liked, but he'll still be hoping for a strong result today.
Well, Fernando is a great starter, and he'll be looking to make up a few places on that first lap to try and get himself back into a position that he's more familiar with.
Alright, what's up guys, and welcome to this F1 2015 Felipe Nasr career mode. As we are here on the starting grid in Australia, we had a really poor qualifying yesterday. We are going to be starting 18th, so we'll see how this race plans out, as we now got 5 lights and away we go. And we had a pretty bad start, as I think we're going to be overtaken by a Marussia on our left side. I'm going to try to stay out of trouble here at least. And we got Button ahead of us. It's going really slow. We had to cut that corner a little bit, and we've been touched by Stevens. He sent us wide, and now we're down to dead last in 7th position, 20th position. But anyway, we're going to dive down the inside of the Marussias, and we're going to go try to pass our teammate Marcus Ericsson, but we haven't managed to do it. And anyway, we're going to try to stay with him and maybe pass him about after this corner here. But it's really tight, so we're going to have to drop out of that overtake. We do not want to collide with our teammate. And he's going slow, and he's blocked us there. We could have easily gone past, but there was no way when he blocked us in that particular way. But now coming on to this little short straight, sort of a back straight, we can call it. And it's a long left-hander, and now Ericsson is trying to move on Jenson Button as he touches the wall, and he's managed to do it. Has he managed to pull it off? Yes, he's managed to pull it off on Jenson Button. What an overtake from Marcus Ericsson. And now we're gonna go for a move on Jenson Button here. We gotta watch out so we don't hit the rear end of our teammate's car. But we managed to do Jenson Button around the outside, and we're now past him. Now the chase begins for the point, as we are 7 positions away from 10th, and 10th is really where we want to be, at least in the points somewhere. So now we got Jenson Button really close behind us, but he is not going to be able to pass us. He's got that poor McLaren Honda engine in his car, so he's not. Doesn't have any good straight line speed, so we're going to be able to pull away from him pretty easily. But now just trying to stay with Marcus as he's closing the gap to the cars ahead. Can't really see what it's a Lotus, I think. It's a Lotus and a Toro Rosso. So we're pulling up on these guys, and the car actually feels kind of nice to drive, even though I really struggled in practice. Although the practice and the qualifying was really wet, but still really had a great feel for the car during the race. I really felt like it was really it had a good grip. It didn't have too much understeer, not too much oversteer either, so the car was just fine to drive. And now we've gone around Marcus Ericsson on the outside, and we're now up into P16 as we got Fernando Alonso. It was not a I thought it was a Lotus earlier, but it wasn't. So it's Fernando Alonso in 15th position, actually fighting for position with a Toro Rosso, as we now cut on to lap 4, as we're right behind Sainz, as Alonso made a mistake earlier and we got past him, and Ericsson did too. So just behind Sainz now, gonna wait to maybe make a move just about very soon. But going through this left and right hand, I seem to be a lot faster than the AIs, and I'm not corner cutting or anything. It seems like the AIs don't have the grip that I do, which is really nice to see that this car actually has pretty good grip. And we've almost done a double overtake there, as we got going side by side with the Pastor Maldonado. That's something you don't want to do too much of, but anyway, we're past him now, and we are up into P13 here on lap 4. Now cutting on to lap 5, we are setting our tires to primes. We want to do it in time, because we don't want to end up in the pits without having to chosen our tires. Has now got a huge back end of us. Kvyat's going really slowly there. We had to brake, and we almost had a huge collision there, losing our front wing almost, but we managed to get away from that incident without anything big happening. And now Maldonado is very close to us. Now he's joined up on this overtaking fest, but we're going to try to go down the inside of Kvyat, but he's sticking it around the outside, which now becomes the inside, and he's still got the position, but it's going really slow, and we got the DRS. He's also got DRS, but this is going to be a drag race to the first corner. Maldonado is just behind Kvyat too, but we're going down to the first corner, and we managed to make the move stick, squeezed out Kvyat going into that first corner. And now we're into P12, putting on DRS as we got it from Kvyat on the start-finish straight. Now we got Perez and Grosjean ahead of us, so we're going to try to take those two guys, and if we take them, then we're actually into the points. But we yet to make a pit stop, and we are going to pit around lap 8, I think. This pit stop is scheduled for lap 7, but I think we're going to stay one more lap, since the tires are really doing well on this car. They aren't really degrading or anything. So now cutting on to lap 7, we got Sergio Perez just in front of us, and we're not really close enough to make a move on this second DRS straight, so we're going to wait for the second sector, because the second sector is where I'm the fastest. The second and the third sector are really my strongest part of the track. The first sector is not too good, but we're going to try to make a move after the corner here. We're not too close, we're not close enough yet, but now we're really close. We are going to maybe go for a move down into this corner. Yes, we are. We got the slipstream going to the inside, going down to third gear, maybe just hitting the curves really hard there, and we got past Sergio Perez and getting a huge amount of overstay going out of that corner, but we managed to stick the overtake anyway. And now we got Grosjean ahead of us in 9th, but we actually into the points, so we managed from being lost on the grid to being lost off the start, and then we actually managed to make our way up into the points. And now we are cut onto lap 8, the end of lap 8, as we're about to come into the pits. We just caught up with Max Verstappen, and we're really close to him now going into the pit. So we're hoping for a good stop from the Sauber squadron, from the Sauber pit crew, and hopefully maybe we can jump Verstappen. I don't think it's possible, but we can always hope. Let's see. Oh, we're not going to jump Verstappen, but a 2.9 pit stop. That's a pretty good pit stop, and we haven't lost too much time to Verstappen yet. So let's see where we come out. We're of course behind Verstappen. Let's see, we got Kvyat behind us. We got Hulkenberg. No, Hulkenberg is behind us. Oh, we're on cold tires. This is not going to end well. Hulkenberg is going to try and move around the outside, but it's going wide. And now we got a fast Grosjean on a bit warmer tires, but we're going to brake late. Maybe lock up the tires and get a bit heat into them. That's really what I need right now. And we managed to keep Grosjean behind us. Now I think we've got heat into our tires already. So we're going to try to close the gap to Max Verstappen now. He doesn't seem to have heat in his tires already, so we might be able to pull a move just about very soon. And now taking a lot of curve in that corner, trying to get a good exit. Now going around the outside of Max Verstappen. Are we going to be able to pull this move off? Maybe we are. Going in to this corner, going around the outside. We've managed to make this move stick. Just been put the tire on the grass, but we managed to make the move stick anyway. Oh, that was an intense part of the race. Just coming out of the pits, and we had Hulkenberg and Grosjean full speed behind us, trying to get past, but we managed to keep them behind, and now Grosjean has gotten past Verstappen too. Verstappen really seemed to struggle. Now cutting on to lap 9, the end of lap 9, as we got Ricciardo ahead of us and Grosjean behind us. We're really pulling away from Grosjean, even though we're running in lean fuel mix, which is the less fuel consuming setup. And we got Ricciardo, as I said, ahead of us, but he's really far ahead of us. He's almost 2 corners ahead of us, which is about 12 seconds. But we have got really good pace in this car. I never thought I was gonna drive this well in this car, but I'm really seem to be doing well in the dry, but the wet is just another story. So anyway, coming into sector 2 now, as you can see, 11.3 seconds is the gap to Daniel Ricciardo, but I don't think we're gonna be able to close that gap. So we're just gonna try and keep the car going here in P8 and try to finish in this position. So we see Grosjean in P9 just behind us as he's losing time to us. So that's really what we want to do. We want to try and pull away from him. And this is especially the part where we do it off the track. this is a part of the track where we really pull away from the AI. This that fast left and right hand, and then this final sector, just need to get a good exit here and touch the curbs on the outside, and here too just touch the curbs on both the inside and the outside, and touch the curb here. That's really crucial, more crucial than you might think, but because if you don't, then you just might get really bad traction out of that corner. It's really important onto this straight. And now coming on to lap 13, as we see Rosberg has got some sort of problem. He's actually out of the race. Rosberg is out of the race, or at least he's fallen down the order. I think he's out of the race because I didn't see a car. But anyway, we're now up into P7, and the gap is still 11.4 seconds to Daniel Ricciardo. So we're still just pulling the same amount of gap to him. So now we cut on to lap 15 as we go a bit wide, but we managed to keep the car in a straight line and not spin or anything like that. Now just going to take you through this final lap, and you can see how I drive and how I've been driving for this whole race. So now coming into this corner, really crucial, you get a good exit, and I just extended a little there, but not too much, and then slightly touching the wall. Luckily we didn't get a puncture or anything like that. That's we saw that happen to, who was it, Valtteri Bottas in 2014. I think he got a puncture there, so we do not want that to happen if we got points on the board now. So coming through to the last sector, as we see Sebastian Vettel has taken the first win of the season. Maybe he's about to start a really good season for Ferrari here, maybe even better than they're having in real life. So anyway, coming through this penultimate corner, and now the last corner, as we're going on to the straight, and I was really happy with the result as I was driving. P7, that's really good, although I would have liked to come P5 like Felipe Nasr in the real race. But anyway, this was an awesome race. As we see Felipe Nasr celebrating, I'm gonna leave it to Crofty now for the results.
That win also sees the four-time Drivers' World Champion on top of the drivers' table. It's a fantastic start to the season for the German.
Well, Seb has definitely thrown down the gauntlet here to the other drivers. They've seen him dominate seasons before, so we'll be slightly worried whether this may be the start of another one.
That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.
Alright guys, what an intense race that was. After starting 18th and losing positions to the Marussians in the first lap, we actually managed to claw our way back into P7 as Felipe Nasr, and we got 6 points in the first round here at Australia and Melbourne. And now here's the driver standings. We are in 7th. That's kind of obvious. This is the first round, and we're 19 points behind Sebastian Vettel. Actually, my objective for this season is to finish 5th in the driver standings. I'd like to do that. And here are the Constructors' Championships, as the Sauber F1 team are now P5 with 6 points, and hopefully Marcus Ericsson can score some points too. So here we go. Here's the menu for the championship season. As we see, 6 points for Felipe Nasr, 0 for Marcus Ericsson. So I'll see you guys in the next episode in Malaysia, which will be out in a few days, I think. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys. Peace.